You know, for so many of us, retirement is seen as the ultimate goal, right? The finish line after a long, hard-fought career. But what if the very thing that made you so successful is the one thing that makes retirement surprisingly tough? Today, we're going to dig into a really interesting challenge that a lot of high achievers face.
I mean, that sounds completely backward, doesn't it? You'd think a super successful career would just pave the way for a perfect retirement. But this quote, it really gets at the truth. The more you achieved, the tougher it can be when the entire game changes. And that, right there, is the heart of what we call the success paradox.
So what is this paradox exactly? Well, it's this kind of counterintuitive idea that the intense focus, the drive, the identity you built over a high-flying career, it doesn't just have an off switch for the day you retire. When that whole career structure just disappears, it can leave this huge, disorienting void that honestly is so much bigger than anyone really expects. To get it, we've got to look at what makes a high achiever tick in the first place.
Okay, so let's talk about what's really going on under the hood here. The psychological engine that powers a successful career. This isn't just about, working hard. It's about a specific mindset, a way of operating that's always optimized for achievement and for moving forward. This internal engine is incredibly powerful, for sure, but it's also built to run on a very specific kind of fuel.
It really boils down to this. You are wired to win. Simple as that. Your entire professional life has been one big series of challenges to tackle, goals to hit, and mountains to climb. And that's not just a job, right? It becomes a fundamental part of who you are, fueled by that amazing feeling of crossing a finish line and immediately looking for the next puzzle to solve. So what's the fuel for this engine? Well, this slide breaks it down into 3 key things. First up, professional validation. We're talking promotions, good feedback, getting that recognition from your peers. Next, you thrive on defined goals, having clear targets, deadlines, something concrete to aim for. And finally, all of this gets blended together to create this really powerful sense of purpose and identity. Over the years, what you do just kind of becomes who you are.
So here's the kicker. What happens when that engine, after decades of running at full throttle, suddenly just stops? That last day of work, it's not just the end of a job. It's the moment the fuel supply gets cut off completely, and you're left with this profound, sudden quiet. And this is where the real challenge begins.
I mean, just look at this side by side. It shows you how dramatic that shift really is. You go from a world of constant validation, the emails, the meetings, the respect from your team, to, well, a sudden silence. The calendar's empty, the phone's not ringing with the next big problem, and the whole rhythm of your life just vanishes overnight.
And that silence, that's what leads straight to this feeling of a loss of purpose. It's not just about being bored. It's this deeper, almost existential feeling that pops up when the main pillar of your identity, your main source of validation, is just gone. If your answer to who are you has always been your job title, retirement suddenly forces you to come up with a totally new answer.
But, and this is a big but, it's not all doom and gloom. Not at all. The journey isn't over. You just need a new flight plan. This is where you get to pivot. You stop reacting to the change and you start proactively designing what comes next. The secret is to approach retirement with the same smart, strategic thinking that made you so successful in your career. It's not an ending, you see. It's about building a whole new version of success.
So this new flight plan, it's pretty straightforward, really. It just has 3 main parts. First, you've got to acknowledge the paradox. Just accept that this is a real, totally normal challenge for people like you. Second, you have to redefine what personal success even means to you now. If it's not about a title or a bonus, what is it? Mentoring? Learning a new skill? Maybe just deepening relationships? And third, you build your new plan. You actively design how you want to invest your time and your energy from here on out.
So, I want to leave you with this question. Think about it. You spent decades meticulously planning your career path, right? Hitting every single waypoint along the journey. That flight plan, well, it has successfully reached its destination. The question you're left with now is a really powerful one. With the total freedom to go anywhere you want, what's your destination now?